and Monze.
And making ourselves better.
Right.
That
I think that's the hardest part, though.
it is, and
Yeah,
but those are
that's the big-
authentic ideas and conversations. That's why it's like, oh, that's juicy.
Because you know it's funny. Because the hardest thing I realize is to talk about yourself.
It is. It is.
It's the hardest thing is to talk about yourself. So when we sit here and we're trying to put the podcast together, it's like, all right, what do you need to do? Talk about me.
Well, okay,
All
I
right,
got
I'll
it.
talk about me.
Today's subject is Varski and Monze. What is Varski and what's Monze doing to grow themselves, make themselves better, get a bigger audience, put out better subject matter? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's actually a really good question because it's a funny thing. It's just about getting to know everything.
Yeah, knowing a lot about a lot.
What's the biggest thing you do outside of this?
Outside of what we do on a daily, weekly basis with our podcast, I think dealing with family, focusing on our finances. So family, finances, and relationships. Because
Right.
I work in the film industry and it's all about relationships. You're only as good as your last 15 minutes, right? So
that's big.
So nurturing relationships, focusing on finances and family.
Right.
And then there's Varski and Monze.
Do you find it to be difficult to balance all that sometimes, or is it just one of those like putting it all together?
It is difficult, but I got to the point where I'm just like no holds barred. Like I don't have a choice. You know, you always hear, "Oh, you have a choice," and da da da. No, it's ingrained in me. I don't have a choice. These are things that I got to do.
Right.
And one of my priorities, other than like finances and family and networking and and nurturing relationships, one of my priorities is Varski and Monze. Like, because what we've developed over the last 20 plus years, watching ourselves build as individuals, going through trials and tribulations, working for Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, learning from our trial and errors, resiliency, bouncing back, new friend groups, finding yourself, digging within all these little things. Like, I think they're starting to flourish now.
Right.
For you and me.
Yeah. I can't even lie to you. This is this venture right here, this past, I want to say 3 or 4 years has been like just amazing because I know that I've always made videos every now and then, but the thing about it was the content was always, I was trying to be very positive in my content. And what's they call it? I forgot the name of it. You know, when you start to do something and you realize how much you don't know about it, then you keep on doing it, you realize how much more you get into it. Then you say, okay, you know what, maybe I am truly a master at what's going on. Yeah, I'm not there yet. But anyways.
I can't find the right word what you're saying, but I get what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Right. So being in this realm for me, it's been pretty crazy, especially when you're co-producing multiple podcasts. So right now we're working on this podcast. Then I do the Concierge Doc podcast with Dr. Jason Littleton. Then I'm working full time also. So being able to find the time to
and family,
cut, paste, edit, family's the main thing. Right, that's the main thing because at the same time you're rebuilding something from not rebuilding, but you're building something that's going to carry you forever.
Yes,
and especially when you're looking at it, it's something new. Because you didn't have that before. You didn't have that kind of bond with somebody before. You had it. You had the theoretical version of it, right? But you don't have that. You didn't have the the actual, you know?
Well, I
So it's
think no, those are all great points, and we're just developing, but it's like
that's
we're
it.
not developing like on like a daily basis. We're developing by the minute, by the hour, by the
Right,
second, like because my mind's always going, and I know your mind's always going, and we're
right,
always thinking of different ways, different avenues to be more creative, more cunning, more slick, you know, and push more positivity, right? And like you were saying before, oh, the videos you used to make before, they were too positive. But a friend, an older friend, once told me years ago, you could never be too positive, you know,
right,
and it was true. When it clicked in my head, it's true. You could never be too positive because what's the outcome of being too positive? You're getting what you want. You get the prosperity.
right.
You get the abundance. You get the joy. You feel good about yourself. It empowers others. Your inspiration to others. So you can never be too positive. Like, and to be very honest, like people are gonna hate regardless. Tupac said it. People are gonna hate you for whatever you do. If you do bad stuff, people gonna hate you. You do good stuff, people gonna hate you. So just do good stuff. It's just a indication that you're doing something right.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
man. That's the biggest thing, and for me, like I said, when it comes down to it, I I'm the kind of person that believes in repetition,
Mhm.
creating structure, creating a system to where you can execute it as
Yes.
much as possible because I don't think people really understand like we do this,
Yes, we do this. It's
right?
not
Like
pretend.
this is not
We're not
pretend
wearing a
like
mask. We're not trying to
when the
impress
camera
nobody.
when the lights go off, what we're doing is we're thinking of what we're gonna do next week.
Mhm.
When we're walking at our regular jobs, we're thinking of how we're gonna execute the plan better.
Mhm.
We're thinking about how to when I'm here by myself, I'm editing the
Yep.
videos. Right, I'm editing the videos, I'm color correcting the videos, I'm adjusting the audio of the videos, I'm trying to put everything together, right? We're thinking about the marketing plan for
Uh-huh.
the videos, and it's not just our the thing about it's not just our videos we're thinking of marketing plan, we're thinking about how to market everything,
Yes. The
right?
branding,
Of
the
course, man, because
whew.
the goal is a lot bigger,
Mhm.
right? That's what people you want people to understand. It's like you wanna be if you think that it's like a look when you look at a movie.
Mhm.
Right? When you look at a movie, you think of everything that goes into a movie, the budget that goes into the
A
movie, the
lot.
amount of people that are there working, the light, the grips,
Uh-huh.
the even down to the person that's doing the payroll,
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I
right? All of all of that that goes into that movie only for you to sit there for an hour and a half and say, "Man, this movie sucks."
yeah. Man, well, I'm there every day. And
Yeah, I'm like, "Man, if you knew the work that we put in, right, you would see, like, I remember the first Last Airbender.
mhm.
It was okay,
You know
right?
what's so crazy? I just came from set today, and a buddy of mine was
Uh,
talking about Airbender. He's just
that's
he's
wild,
finishing up the new one.
right?
It's
Oh,
crazy.
man. Yee right. It's funny because you think about it, the amount of visual effects they put inside there, you could see where the budget ran out because they couldn't tell the story the way they needed to,
Mhm.
right? It's always like it's like people will say, this is garbage." It's not garbage, it's just
It didn't
you're
touch you the way that it
it
wanted to touch you, so you didn't
right.
give it good feedback.
And that's the thing that we realize is like there's so much that goes into these creative moments that we don't even realize that it's just not translating the way you want it to.
Mhm.
Right? It's like when you draw a circle in your mind, you can see the perfect circle,
Well,
right? But
you know,
when it comes out,
it's so funny how you're using movies as a case study. Like for me, I spend most of my time creating, whether I'm creating the podcast with you or I'm creating at
right,
work. So most of the things that I actually enjoy, they're cult classics. Like I personally like the classic um Friday movies. I like the
Oh,
cult
yeah.
classics like The Boys in the Hood, and I like comedy movies. So I like,
Right.
some obscure movies. Like, you ever heard of a movie called Janky Promoters? Like, it's an Ice Cube, Mike Epps movie. Like, those are the movies that I like. Just weird, urban,
The low
low
budget.
budget black shows that were done on shoestring budgets, and it's like top comedies, and they just make me laugh. Or it's just like
Man.
dumb-ish, or it's like stereotypical stuff that happens in the hood that only black people get the jokes, or if you grew up in the hood,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I like. Ha-
You know what one of my favorite movies is, Accepted.
Accepted. I don't think I've seen that.
Ex Accepted was, like it was a bunch of kids who well, I'll tell you, like, one kid was watching everybody go to college, and they were getting everybody was getting accepted into college, and he didn't get accepted into anything. So he
Mm.
created his own school,
Oh, that's dope.
right? Right, called the South Harmon Institute of Technology,
Hmm.
alright? And if you went to that school, then guess what? You're a shithead.
That's I like those kind of movies, man.
Right?
Just crazy stuff.
But
Artistic,
but
crazy,
they turned
funny.
these these kids, they turned this he got a bunch of other people, so they posted and created a website.
Wow.
All of a sudden, they started getting administration letters. People want to join the school. People want to come there. Man, they went and rented a building,
Mhm.
right? And everyone showed up.
And people actually
Everyone
enrolled in the
and
school.
people showed up. Yeah, people showed up and
That's
they
dope.
enrolled, and then they messed around, and at the end of the movie, right, they tried to shut them down,
Mhm.
right? But apparently, one of the dudes that was there, he was supposed to go to, I think MIT or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? Or the Harmon School of Technology,
Mhm.
the Harmon Institute of, like, Technology, right? And before he left, he applied for accreditation for the school, right? So they're sitting there like, "I can't believe this actually failed." They're like, "You're gonna be in trouble." And he looks down and sees a letter, and they have a hearing with the Board of Education,
Wow.
right? And then so at the end of the movie, they get into the room, right? Come to find out they changed the room. They said, "Well, why did they change the room?" They said, "Because it was too small."
Wow.
Right? So everybody that was enrolled in the
It was
school
getting
came
traction,
to show
yeah.
support. They went inside there and they were like so the end of so what they did was it somehow or another they ended up getting accreditation.
I gotta look this movie up. It's dope.
Yeah. They actually got accreditation and they became a full-fledged college.
That's dope.
Right. And I'm like, this is it. And it was everything you think about. They had classes like walk around and think about stuff. That was the curriculum,
Walk
right?
around. Yeah,
And
because
they said,
it's
well,
real. Because it's true. A
yeah.
lot of the stuff that we learned in school, other than like language arts, English and math and business math, and everything else is irrelevant. It's mostly social
That's
skills
it,
that you develop in
you know?
school.
The only thing I think to myself right now, I wish I would have spent more time focusing on algebra,
Hmm.
right? Because the more I understand algebra, the more I get what's going on, right? But that stuff, like, man, let me walk around and think about stuff. Let me choose a career path. They're like, this is where you sit around, and you think about a career path that you really want or something that you want to do, and you just put your life together based upon that,
Wow.
right? It was, man, they were talking about like they had non-traditional curriculum,
Well,
right?
to to
That brought you to traditional
to
results.
interject with that, they say that the current educational system, in like North American educational system, it's not built to really empower you. It's just training you to how to be productive in the workforce. It's
No, it's training yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
They said that
it's not training you to be a business owner
it's
or a
it's teaching you
entrepreneur.
what to think, not how to think.
Yes, how to
There.
follow commands,
There it
not to
is.
think outside the box and create, be innovative, and use technology. It's
Right.
not. That's not what they're teaching.
No, man, and that's the problem because well, that's perfect for them because if you wanna create another industrial complex, right, you need worker bees,
Mhm.
right? So you need people who are not gonna ask questions, people who are just gonna go in there and the world is learnt for them, right? It wasn't until somebody recently the other day showed me how to do something, and they were like, "If you want this, all you have to do is read what they're asking for,
Mhm.
and then formulate your answers based upon what they're asking for. So
I
every one of your stories should
yes.
match that."
I learned that technique, it wasn't through school or anything like that, it was just through, like, maybe a workshop.
No.
The
Yes.
the the answer is in the question, and
Yes.
what a person is asking for, the answer is what they're asking for, and I've
Yes.
always, since I picking up on this new knowledge, I always use that formula. So if someone uses a sentence, I use the subject matter from the sentence to provide them with their answer, and then you get it right.
Right. That's the main thing.
So
That's it.
so
And it's the hardest
it's it
you don't realize it,
yeah,
man.
it's more social skills. It's like people, like, people always say, "Oh, we want more money, we want more this, we want more that." It's not that they necessarily want more money, they just want more freedom. Because as free as people say that you are, you're not really free because you need fuel to put in the machine, or you need the money to put inside the machine. We just want the money to put it inside the machine to get
You
enjoyment
want
or thrill or excitement, right? Like a video game, right? You got to put the money in the machine, and then it gives you this excitement. So it's like,
I remember
whether it's a new
it's
pair of
funny you say that.
shoes, whether it's a new car, it's just you want to put the
You want that
money.
dopamine.
Yeah, it's dopamine hit. You want to
Yeah, you
put
want
it. Says it
dopamine.
gives you
Yeah.
excitement, and so you don't necessarily want the money. You just want more excitement, more excitement. You know.
I remember a long time ago, I was working at LA Fitness,
Hmm.
right? And if you had a promo, I would say, let's go make it happen. So I'm out there. I remember one time I'm over there in front of, I think the bank was at the time was BB&T,
Hmm.
right? And I'm handing out flyers, because we're doing a tent event, and I'm handing out flyers. And this older guy walks up and says to me, "Hey, just make sure you're putting your money in the right place because what tends to happen is that you'll start to trade your hours for dollars, right? Until eventually there's not enough dollars to compensate for hours and you're back in
Yes,
slavery,
the rat race.
right? And I realized that before when I was like, I remember hearing about this reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Hmm.
It was one of those things where you look at it, it's like you you people will sit back and say, I need more money, right? But you're expecting it from the same place that's giving you what you already
It's already
have.
capped there.
Right. And you've instead of taking the money and invested into making this something else, you've took the money and increased your lifestyle,
Hmm.
right? So now you're trying to fund your lifestyle based upon, what you have, not realizing all I did was put myself into a deeper hole.
So that's what's happening right now. It's a reoccurring event,
Yes.
but the inflation spike that has happened in the last 2 years. So currently we're in 2026. So the
Yeah.
inflation that has happened in, say, 2022, 3, 4, 5, now 6, it has surpassed what your income is.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you make. You can't even feed the same things anymore because it's not enough. So
No.
you have to
Right.
what we're doing, dig deep within, be creative, think outside the box, find a new avenue to create more revenue to facilitate your current and actually exceed and grow. And the
Right.
people who aren't doing that will be swallowed up by the machine.
That's gonna be best because you're still waiting for the machine to feed you.
Machine ain't gonna feed you, man.
Right. Nah, man. In fact, what's funny? I was watching the episode. I was watching the episode, the interview with Candace Owens and Nick Cannon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Dope
I
interview.
I I seen that, man, and the way she said it, she said, especially as Black people, the same government that we loathe at times is the same one we're looking to be better and help us. when we should be learning how to fend for
Yeah,
ourselves.
like, cause the government ain't gonna save you. The government,
No,
they
man.
collect
Hey, look,
tax dollars and they make sure things are adequate. You're not, like, suffering, and there's lights,
they're
there's medication, stuff like that,
they're
but
trying to make sure they can expand the countries, and they're trying to take other countries. They don't care about
yeah.
what's going on down
They're
here,
not worried about the
you
individual.
know?
The government actually likes the entrepreneur. The government actually
Yeah,
likes those are the people who get the bonuses from the government. The people who are out there creating jobs, employing other people, coming up with new innovations, technology. That's who the government likes. That's who gets the
that's
incentives.
it.
That's who gets the tax breaks, not the
You're the pe
employee.
No, and that's the one thing I'm looking at 'em like, you gotta realize that you gotta go out there and put yourself in the position where you're trying to go,
Hmm.
alright? Yeah, even after we're this episode wraps up, man, I'm probably gonna sit there and figure out more things that need to be done, right?
100.
Bec
Like I was saying, like
dude,
my mind doesn't actually stop. I
no,
actually
man.
think when I go to sleep, this is my personal experience. I think when I go to sleep, I'm still creating, and then when I wake up in the morning, I then the idea comes. I'm constantly
Right.
24 hours. I'm just always like, okay, what
Oh,
about
dude.
this? What about that? What about this? What about
I
that?
used I told people at work, I'm like, "You know, the thing is, you all can do this amazing thing. When you go home, you don't think about what goes on. I can't do
I
that
know.
because this doesn't turn off."
Yeah.
Right?
I guess
This
that's your
doesn't turn off,
calling. That's
right?
my calling.
You know?
It's the creator calling. It's like there's certain individuals on the planet in our existence or that who we known in humanity. Maybe they passed now, but they left a legacy, and we use that information to keep creating. And if those people didn't do that, if individuals like you and I didn't do that, humanity wouldn't keep evolving. So
But that's
we're
the
on a
point, man.
mission.
Like, look, let's think about it, right? Let's think about it. Years ago, even it's always been a constant, like, battle between
Hmm.
innovation and government, right? Artists and government.
Hmm.
You know, the government would say one thing, but the artist felt a different way,
Yeah.
and, and the artist had more influence than the government, so it was like, the government didn't have that much power,
Hmm.
right? So when you had that with the artists like Rembrandt, or you had the Picassos, or no, even back in the day where you had, what's my guy's name? I forgot his name. Alright, he's actually on the wall over here. Alright, right? Um, the he made a Starry Night, and then the other one that made the Scream.
Oh,
Alright,
I know you're talking. He has big eyes. He made a big eye movie.
yes,
That's
you know?
he's a creator. He's an artist. Oh my gosh, what's his name? I know who you're talking about.
Man, the thing about it, we'll get to that because I bet we'll you know what? If you know who he is, put it in the comment below.
Yeah, he's a creator,
Okay,
animation.
alright? So, the thing about it is that there's always been a a a what's the word? The conflict between the government and artists,
Mhm.
right? And even with now, if you think about it, when Eminem would go at the government,
Mhm.
right? It's the artists versus the government,
Cuz
you
the
know?
artists, the people love the creator, love the musician, love the
Yes,
actor, love that the person that just goes against the grain. But then the government is like, "Oh,
yes,
this person has too much power. We need to sign him up to our company and he needs to be under our influence
right.
in order for him to or they them her to keep that, keep thriving, right? They don't want them to
That's
be
where
overthrowing the government."
no, and that's the one thing that people don't get. Like, you're gonna go out there and you gotta put the work in to get to where you're trying to go. Yes, the government is there, but, stop relying on them.
No.
Rely on you.
Yes.
Right? Get up. Like I said, stop looking for leaders to change the way that you need to live.
Mhm.
you know?
And it's true. Every great story or any great author, creator, or musician, or anybody who we love that's created something, they went against the grain. And that's why we
It's
love them.
always the thing.
So
It's always a
you
thing,
can
you
go
know?
against the grain too. Like, I do recommend you try or do your best to create within the parameters, because you don't want to be blackballed or blacklisted. You want to be able to thrive within this inside this environment. But go against the grain.
You know what, though? If even if you get blackballed or blacklisted, as long as you maintain consistent,
Hmm.
you'll get out of that.
Well,
Look at Kanye.
as just about you took the word right out of my brain. Kanye West, he went up, he went down, he went sideways, he stayed the same, he went up, he went down. He every realm, like
Yeah,
fashion, music, creativity, uh speaking
politics.
politics, speaking too much of his mind. And you know what? I think it was a couple weeks ago, he had the concert in LA, and at
Mhm.
is it SoFi, the football stadium.
Yeah,
He's on top of the world. That's the stage. And I think he made the two shows. It's like
yeah,
$30 million
man.
in 2 days. You know, so
That
it's a testament that even when you're blackballed, even when you're blacklisted, even when you're suppressed, you can still bounce back.
you can bounce back, man. Look at it. Same thing, Chris Brown,
Hmm.
right? Chris Brown, man. I mean, the things that he went through was just like, you
Well,
know,
you see what
and
him and Usher just announced this week.
what's that?
So this week, I think it was either this week of less than 48 hours ago, they announced
Uh,
it's a new tour. It's called R&B, Raymond and Brown, and it's Usher, Raymond, and Chris Brown are going on a world tour. It's probably going to be a stadium tour, and yeah, R&B is what it's called. Raymond and
that's
Brown.
wild.
So people are there's memes all over the net right now saying that people are going to have to take out a new mortgages. Men are like, oh no, I gotta, like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna afford to take our girls to this concert? They haven't announced no dates, nothing yet. They just announced it like less than 48 to 72 hours ago. And I
Eh,
want to go.
isn't isn't Hope coming with a new concert
So
too?
yeah, they're saying that this summer might make you broke because Kanye got this tour.
Right,
Jigga got the stadium tour. He got Philly and Bronx Stadium. And now
right.
Chris Brown and Usher Raymond R&B, they got this concert. And you can't forget about Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak, because Bruno Mars was with Anderson Paak doing a world tour right now. And, Bruno Mars does numbers.
Mm, you know what I was thinking to myself? You ever hear that say when things are taking place, you get flooded with a bunch of entertainment?
Yes, I
It's just
have.
like
As soon as you said that, I knew that's what you're gonna say,
I was
and
like,
it's common. It's common that like when all this stuff is happening, there's something behind the scenes that's happening. To
say your best to keep your
it's
attention.
like a
Yeah.
blinder. It's like a blinder that they put up to so the people don't recognize what's happening.
No, 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 so the people don't.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Ah,
Oh
it's
man.
funny. It's yeah, man. You know what? If we're gonna go into it, there's a book.
Hmm.
I don't think I talked about this one yet.
Yeah. What's your
Um,
pick of the week?
I like a book called The E Myth.
The E Myth. Mm.
The E Myth.
You
The
told
E
you
Myth.
told
I
me
don't.
about that book a few times before. And you actually quoted that book a few times before.
Yes, this book right here, The E Myth,
Dope.
right? By Michael Green,
Mhm.
Michael Gerber. I'm sorry,
Michael Gerber.
Michael Gerber.
Mhm.
Right, and the beautiful thing about it is that it gets past. It dispels the rumor of the entrepreneur. Right, because a lot of people,
Mm.
for some odd reason, they'll say, I get up, I go to work, I own my own business, and I'm doing this, so I'm an entrepreneur. No, you're self-employed.
Yes.
You're self-employed.
Mhm.
If you have to wake up every morning and open the door, you are employed by your business.
Mhm.
All right. What makes you an entrepreneur is when you figured out a way to hire a manager. All right.
Mhm.
And the manager will go and hire other people, put everything together.
Mhm.
Right. And then you say to them, they'll say things like, okay, well, you know what? I don't really trust anybody with the business. They can't do it like me. I said, well, that means you made your business too complicated,
Yeah.
right? It has to be transferable. Think about it. When Ray Kroc, right, saw McDonald's,
Exactly.
there was a system that was created that where it could be transferred to everybody
Mhm.
else, right? He you have to be able to do that. It's created to where it's simple to where I could transfer it to you,
Yes.
right? And I said, well, what if they quit? Well, think about it. How many jobs have you had where you quit?
There's been a ton of
Right? You didn't care
jobs,
about
but it is but
right?
if the
You didn't care about them.
formula could be duplicated and recreated, now you're
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
But that doesn't once you can figure out how to do it, reduplicate it, recreate it, yes, now you're putting people in study because now I can let my manager run the business,
Mhm.
and then I can go and build my business elsewhere.
Yes, you could keep, franchising and keep, innovating and developing. That's a dope book. The
Man,
E-Myth. I like
the
that.
E-Myth, right? When I'm talking to people at my job,
Mhm.
right, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I have a business, but I'm thinking about shutting it down." Like, "What do you mean you're thinking about shutting it down? You don't trust anybody?" They're
Mhm.
like, "Man, I got some people I can trust." I said, "Well, why don't you simplify your business
Mhm.
and let somebody else run it, and then you can just go out there, right, and create more things."
Yeah.
"Oh, I didn't think about
Be
that."
more innovative,
Yes.
yeah. That's
Be more
dope.
innovative, come inside it,
I like
right?
that.
So that book allows me to even find ways to show people how to maximize what they're doing,
Mhm.
right?
I like that.
Because people don't know there's a way you gotta go from being self-employed to being an entrepreneur. That is the end goal.
That's dope.
So, yeah,
'Cause,
man.
yeah, there's a lot of people, they think if they go down to the registry or whatever, or go online and they sign up and they make a business, that they're an entrepreneur. No, you're self-employed. You just opened up a business number.
That's
But
it.
what are you
That's it.
doing? A real entrepreneur
That
could create something, have a formula, teach it to someone else, and have that pyramid work and redevelop and fine tune and go off and do it again.
that's like when I remember back in the day when I used to get incorporated and had a record called I used to incorporate my record label.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yo, I got a record label. I got a record label because I put a record label name on a corporation." I'm like,
Yeah.
there's so much more you gotta do now, man."
But
It's like
it's
you gotta
kind of cool. Like that's part of the journey. Like I think the first business I registered, it was the same concept. It's like I gotta have my own business. So I just
right.
went down there,
Man,
paid the money, but was I actually as creating? I was self-employed, but was I an entrepreneur? Can I build it, leave that
right.
alone, and go on to
And
something else
and
and duplicate
and
that?
that's the one thing. You gotta be able to make it to where it's transferable.
Hmm.
That's all it is. Everything has to be transferable. That's my mindset with a lot of things that I do. I try to make it
That's
transferable,
dope. I like it.
you know? So, on that note, we're gonna transfer to a new day. Whenever you get a chance, get yourself some gray matter,
Yes.
right? Shout out to gray matter, right? Cognitive function, amazing. Enhance your abilities. Comes in multiple flavors. You got your strawberry lemon, you got your tangerine, and now the new cacao flavor. This stuff is amazing. Right? Whether you're using to start off your day or to continue your day, get yourself some gray matter. Right? It is definitely worth the drink.
That's what's up.
On that note, I'm here with,
Mazia.
and I am your boy, and this was, and we
All
out.
day, every day, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.
Varsky and Monze.